Once upon a time, best beloved, in the glen where the wind carried secrets and the trees whispered their ancient songs, there lived a small and bustling mouse. She was the sort of mouse who carried stories in her basket, along with scones still warm from the oven. One late winter afternoon, she climbed atop the flat rock outside her home and clapped her tiny paws together for attention. All the creatures of the glen gathered close, as was their habit when Mouse had news to share. Rabbit was there, with his cloak drawn tight about him. Hedgehog came too, wrapped snugly in a scarf, and a great many other creatures crept from their burrows and hollows to sit and listen. Even the ancient trees leaned in, their branches creaking with curiosity. "Now, best beloveds," said Mouse, smoothing her whiskers and looking very serious indeed. "The wind has been at its whispering again. It tells me that every visitor to the glen must have a name, a special name, mind you, chosen by the wind itself. Oh, and the wind does love to spin tales of these names. It spoke of Brighten, who carries the light of hidden truths, and Starweaver, the one who threads dreams into the night sky." Rabbit twitched his ears. "But what do these names mean, Mouse? Are they enchanted?" Mouse nodded most solemnly. "Indeed they are, dear Rabbit. A Glen Name isn't just a name. It's who you are in this place where the earth breathes and the stars listen. Imagine it. Your Glen Name tells your story before you've even begun to tell it yourself. Perhaps you are a teller of tales by the fire, or a quiet keeper of secrets, or something else entirely." Hedgehog, who was not often the first to speak, shuffled closer and asked in her small voice, "And what would your name be, Mouse?" Mouse tilted her head this way and that, considering. "Ah, well, the wind once called me Oakheart, for it said I carried wisdom in my heart, steady and strong as an old oak tree. But that's only one name, and the wind... well, the wind does like to change its mind." At this, all the creatures chuckled, for they knew well how the wind could be. Mouse reached into her basket and began pulling out her scones, still warm and fragrant. "Now then, while we enjoy these, I've news to share. The daisies are dreaming of spring, though it's still deep winter, and the wind told me of someone who hasn't arrived in the glen yet, but is already part of it. This visitor will come wrapped in kindness, with a cloak of quiet strength. Perhaps their name will be Moondrift or Rowanshade. Who can say? But I know they will belong the moment they step into our glen, just as each of you does." The creatures sighed contentedly at the thought, their hearts warmed by the idea of someone new to welcome. Even Hedgehog's prickles seemed to soften as she sipped her tea. Mouse clapped her paws again, drawing their attention back to her. "And so, best beloveds, I ask you to think about this. What would your glen name be? What tale would it tell about you? And when you've thought of it, do share it with me, for names, like stories, are meant to be shared." Rabbit leaned back against a tree, a thoughtful look on his face. Hedgehog gazed up at the sky, as if her name might drift down on a cloud. Even the trees whispered among themselves, their leaves rustling secrets that only they could understand. The scones disappeared quickly, and the tea was refilled again and again. As the sun dipped lower, bathing the glen in golden light, Mouse felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. Here were her friends, her family of hearts, bound together by the magic of stories and the joy of small, shared moments. "Remember, best beloveds," Mouse said as the gathering began to disperse. "The wind knows you already. It is only waiting for you to hear its whisper, and when you do, oh, what a tale it will tell." And with that, Mouse tucked her empty basket under her arm and scampered off into the deepening twilight, leaving behind the lingering scent of scones and the soft sound of dreams beginning to take shape in the glen. And so, my dear ones, take a quiet moment and listen. What do the trees whisper to you? Close your eyes and imagine yourself in the glen. Are you sitting by the fire weaving stories, or are you tending a hidden garden beneath the trees? Let the wind guide you. When you feel it, you'll know. And when you discover your name, share it with those who will cherish it, for names, like stories, are meant to be shared. Until next time, may the wind guide you gently, the trees shelter you kindly, and the stories keep you warm. As the stars light your path and the whispers of the glen fill your heart, remember, you are always welcome here. God bless and farewell for now.